Hi, everybody. This is Melinda Cooper. And I want you to know I'm really kind of bouncing off the walls today. It's Tuesday. It's 9 a.m. Central. And yes, you are already with a lady who jumped in the car and just started going, right? I put that theme out there today on my social media. Uh, I haven't finished posting yet, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. But in the meantime, I'm Melinda Cooper. I'm living the dream, and gratefully here with me is my cohort, my partner in crime, the person who keeps me accountable, the person who tries to organize me, and the person who tries to keep me in line, Marion LaSalle. She's got a long list of
Hello.
little. She's got a long list of things, don't you, Marion? Bless your heart.
Bless my little heart.
That's right. That's right. It's Tuesday, and you're like, okay, Melinda, let's calm that energy down. But I'm going to tell you something. I think constantly of the different ideas that we discuss, and all the things that if I could, for lack of a better word, if I could info vomit, right, infomit on you, and just dump everything that I've ever read, studied, and tried to grab a hold as an entrepreneur, you'd be going, it's a paper blizzard, right? And the reason is, one of the big things is that I love to jump in. I love to jump in. I love trying new things. I love learning new things. And as an entrepreneur, we have that luxury and we have that downfall. Isn't that right, Marion? We have the luxury. How many times have I said, Marion, oh my God, I got this, please? And Marion's like, calm, Melinda, calm. Right? Come on, Marion, tell the truth. You're with me with that.
Well, it is exciting. Being an entrepreneur in this day and age is exciting because every second there's something new. So when I first started in this business, many years ago, we were doing networking for small business owners. We were doing this is before laptops, okay? And it was like every year there was a big change. And we were like excited, oh my God. And then a little while went by, and then every 6 months there was a change. Oh, wow. This is really picking up speed here. And then every month there was a new change. And then as time went on, it was every week there was something new. And then every day, now it's every hour. Now it's every second. Okay. Every second there's like 100 new things. And so for us entrepreneurs, it can be mind blowing.
It becomes, absolutely, it becomes what I call the golden goodie, right? And the reason is like, oh my God. And here's one of the things. I'm sorry, folks. I gotta do this, okay? Because that's something to my eye. Anyway, one of the things that's really big for me is that, um, many of us, Marion, and many of the other entrepreneurs I know, we're coaches. Okay, we're coaches. We're coaching, we're helping, we're consulting our clients to get better, to do better, to be, hey, Robin, to do better, to change new things, to try new things. That's what consulting, that's what coaching is all about. Somebody comes to me with an issue and we're ready to solve it. Immediately, my mind goes into strategic mode. I know Marion can tell you, I've done that to her. She's done that to me. We say, okay, let's fix the issue. The problem is with that is that we have to make definite decisions. Are we going to chase that bunny hole? Are we going to run down the rabbit hole and fall into Alice in Wonderland and going, where are we now? Or are we going to keep going solid down the yellow brick road and say, I don't care what crossroads we come to, this is the way we're going?
I think it depends on someone's income level, their their circumstances, because let's face it, if you have lots of money and maybe you have a spouse that's like bringing in a lot of money and you're secure, you don't have a mortgage, maybe there's a lot of different reasons why you might want to just go, I could do anything I wanted to. I could do something different tomorrow. But if you have to make money for your family, then you better think about something and go for it. And if it doesn't work out, then you can go to the next thing. But to be decisive right now when you really need money, that's the time when you want to stay down that, what'd you call it? The yellow brick road?
That's right. You want to reach the golden.
You can see the stuff on the side, right? But just keep going. Put your
That's right.
blinders on.
That's right. You have to stay with the yellow brick road. You have to go to the Emerald City. You have to get to Oz, right? All the different things that go with that. But here's the thing, it is very tempting to jump. And whether you have the war chest that you have been storing to do it or not, you're still tempted. You're still tempted to, and if you don't have it, you're still tempted because a lot of times people, and I actually have a couple of clients that are this way, and I love them to death. And I'm like, okay, wait, we're focusing here. We're focusing this way. We're focusing, right? And the reason is because when they see or they spend a certain amount of time, people are looking for instant gratification. Bam, I'll be the first person to say it, right? They wanted to say, I'm going to go into business, I'm going to sell books, I'm going to sell marketing, I'm going to sell, shows, I'm going to sell productions, I'm going to sell, you name it, many courses, e-courses, you name it, right? They're going to sell it, they're going to make it, and boom, they know that within months they're going to be making thousands of dollars. Good luck. Because I'm going to tell you that the journey is focused and it's constantly walking forward. We have to decide and be very clear, and Marion can help me with this. You have to be very clear on where you're going, right? I have always known that I wanted to help entrepreneurs. That's always been my goal. I have always known that I wanted to help entrepreneurs get their message out. I'm going to tell a secret. I don't even know if Marion remembers it or not. We happened to be at a gathering as an event. We went out of town, and so we're all sitting around, we're visiting, we're talking. I was actually with a bunch of people from Houston, and Miss Marion was leading the pack from Houston. And I was meeting new people, just all kinds of people. It was great. All of a sudden, somebody says, Melinda, well, what is going to be your core? I was just deciding what kind of coaching I was going to be. Was I going to stay or go into corporate, or was I going to go individual? How was I going to take living the dream to the message? We got a great idea and I ran with it. I still run with it. I still have it, right? And what was it? Was that I wanted to help other people get their message out. So bam, Living the Dream Business Magazine was created, right? I didn't know for sure how I was going to do it as of yet, but I jumped in that car, got on that yellow brick road, found me a ton of writers, found me people that I actually, I want to tell you that I was awed by them. I was impressed by them. I liked their work. I liked what they were saying, what they were doing. And I put them in the magazine because I said, your message is worth people to see it, to hear it, right? I wanted to get that out there. I started that magazine right there, right there with Marion and everybody else that happened to be in that group. And we started talking about what kind of articles would be good for that, what kind of places, what should we cover, who should we cover? And before you know it, I had a magazine. Now, I will tell you, I didn't know how I was going to get it on the internet. I didn't know how I was going to ask other people to join. I wasn't even sure if people would join. But I knew that what I wanted was to help entrepreneurs get a spotlight, get their message out. If you look at Living the Dream today, I still have a digital magazine. I've done other things, but the digital magazine is my baby. Okay, that's my baby. And I still have people in it. I still have people who write good articles. I still talk to people about, hey, that's a great topic. My people could use that information. I've got a really great topic coming out in September. I can't stand it. I'm just so excited about it. I'm like, yes. But now I'm not having to chase down the bunny hole of how to get the magazine. Systems have been put into place. Editors have been found. I have a core people who actually I pick up the phone and say, hey, I need an article. They write for me. And it's the new topics, the new things that people are my exciting new glitter, right? They're the ones who, in lack of a better word, they're the ones who get me to be able to jump, right? Because I'm jumping within my own business. Does that make sense? Right? Sometimes, Marion, and I know that you can say this with me, sometimes rather than jumping off your yellow brick road, you just add something on. Isn't that right, Marion?
Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, you can work with other people, and you can add products and services. But if you keep your main goal in mind as you're going down that road, yeah, you can add things for sure.
Right? And
Mm-hmm.
when you're adding things, okay, I want you to get somebody that keeps you in line. I want you to get somebody that helps to hold you accountable. I want you to get somebody that will say, wow, that's good. How does that tie into your business? Right? Marion does that to me a lot. She's like, wow, Melinda, that sounds great. How does that fit? I'll get back to you, Marion. Come
Well,
on, tell me.
I don't see that you jump off in different directions. You may buy and jump into a lot of different programs, but I think they're all focused on the same thing: getting visibility and helping your entrepreneurs grow and move forward. I really do believe that. You may have a lot of programs that you're working with, but it's always you always have that target. How am I going to help my people, myself, my friends, and my clients get more visibility? I believe that.
And
And that does help build your confidence when you first start out with anything. It doesn't matter what it is, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, an entrepreneur. Let's face it, when you first start out, you might have to fake it a little in order to make it. You might have to borrow some confidence from a friend or a business associate, or somebody that you hire to help you, an accountability partner or a mastermind or a group that you're joining. Sometimes you need those people to hold you up until you can get the confidence that you need to just go for it without
yeah,
worrying.
and you're absolutely right, Marion, because I will tell you so many times I think that an accountability coach, a group, a mentor, a coach, all the different names that a consultant, all the different names that you have or we utilize. The reality is that there's someone that tells us, wow, that's just a little out of the box for where you said your target was. Because if you're changing your target, let's go ahead and change that as well. But if we're not changing our target, if Marion is correct, I've always been about visibility. I've always been about strategic action to take to get you seen, to find your right audience, to put you in the best place that you can be, right? So if we do that, yeah, Marion's right. I do a lot of programs. I need to tell you how many programs I buy so that I can test it first, or I can have Marion test it first, so that we can do that. And when we find out, no, this isn't going to work, that not, yeah, that's too much trouble. That nobody's going to get that. This level will not be able to use it, but this level will, right? You start to play with that ladder to know who your clients are and what they can and cannot adapt to. And before you know it, right, you have now gotten and created a brand new accountability coach, consultant, someone that helps you know when to add on, or at least you can bounce those great ideas off of and say, let's talk about the right idea at this
Sometimes
time.
when you're in it, you can't see what other people can see around you.
Right.
And so it does take it takes discernment to pick the right people that can help you and to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Sometimes they can see things that you didn't even know was there. I mean, like literally, you don't see this piece of red cloth right here. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. Because you're in it and you're focused and I don't know why that is, but other people can see it just fine. So I
Well, I
think
think.
joining
ahead.
an accountability group or having some kind of mentorship is really important when you're trying to keep your entrepreneurial mindset going forward and being successful.
Yes. I always laugh because success is captured in so many ways. I know exactly what my idea of success is. And I will tell you that one of the biggest success ideas that I have or focus is that I want to create living the dream big enough that it's leaving a legacy. I want somebody somewhere down the road, if I could ever be so blessed that somewhere down the road somebody said, you know who taught me that? Melinda Cooper taught me that. Living the dream taught me that, right? I was keeping an eye on living the dream and they taught me that, or they showed me that, or they helped me that. That is something I want somebody down the road to say, you know who I was listening to the other day? Oh my God, it was Marion and Melinda. And you know what they said, right? That's part of a legacy, folks. That's part of the fact that we have grown forward enough that we're leaving a positive echo, a ripple in the water, right? That other people can see the path. And if I can leave a path that somebody can say, oh, did you see that pothole that Melinda went into? Man, that almost killed her. She hated that pothole. Well, let's walk around it. We learned through, Melinda. We don't have to fall into that pothole. If I can save 3 entrepreneurs, that's my biggest goal. If I can save 3 entrepreneurs from falling in that doggone pothole, right, and not going into that hell hole that creates us and make us doubt and have us have lack of confidence and fear. Instead, they go, oh no, Melinda talked about that. Let's go around the pothole.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with making up your mind that you're going to hold yourself accountable. Because if you want people to know you for something, then you better do it. Okay. And if you fall down, then you need to admit it and tell people how you overcame it. Because these people that try to pretend that they're perfect and that they've never made a mistake, people see through that. Okay. So keep yourself accountable and let your community hold you accountable, and always admit when you've done something wrong or that you stepped off that yellow brick road into the mire, and people can help you get back on. And then you need to turn around and teach that, just like Melinda said. Let me show you what I did in order to get off that,
Yeah,
get out of that muck.
that's right.
Because there's one more thing I think that this is really, really important that people try to understand, and that is you have to have resilience. And sometimes you need a reset button, and sometimes you need a friend to say, hello, come back, hello, where are you?
Yeah, yeah,
Come back, let me help you. You need resilience. So you're going to go down. You're human beings. You're going to go down, but you're going to come back, right? You got to be resilient. Bounce back.
Bounce back. My mother used to say there was never a doubt. This is her quote. Please accept it in this way. My mother used to say, never a doubt that I knew you were going to fall. I knew you were going to fail. And I'd look at her. She goes, my question has always been, did I teach you enough to bounce to get back up? And I think about that often. Of course, we're going to fail. Of course, we're going to fall. Of course, we're going to stub our toe. Of course, we're going to get close to that line and almost get burned. But you know what? You got to come back. That's the resiliency. For those of you who know me and know that I am I'm like a Rocky, right? Right? I'm that person, right? I really am. I taught my children certain movies that they have to watch, and they see them now and they're like, they know I'm trying to motivate them. Okay, let's go. Let's have our talk now with that music. And for me, one of the things is Rocky. I know Rocky 88, 99, 100, how many series that he did of them, right? But out of one of them, he says to me, or he says the show, somebody knocks him down, right? And they're walking away and he goes, excuse me. And the guy turns around and looks over his shoulder and he goes, I didn't hear the bell. right? I'm not down. I didn't hear the bell. I'm not out. I didn't hear that bell, right? And while that may sound funny to a lot of people, the reality is that he was saying one more time, I don't care how bad you beat me. I don't care how bloody I look. I don't care how tired I seem. I don't care that other people are looking at me and going, why are you even going? Right? Doesn't matter. I didn't hear it. I didn't give up. I did not decide that that was my defeat. Jump back up, folks. Don't hear that bell. Keep going. It does not. It does not mean you have to listen to somebody else's bell. It's your bell. Be decisive. Go after what you're going for. Be accountable, not only to yourself, but to other people that'll hold you solid. You know what? You said you were going to do this. Is that around? Did I miss it? I've even told people, you know what? Excuse me. I got so busy. My life was crazy. I forgot to post that yesterday. I'll have it out there. There's been times that I have had it out there at 2 o'clock in the morning because I want them to know that when they get up in the morning, it's there. It's there. I'll post it too. I'll stay up and do it. You know, sometimes I set my alarm to make sure, did I finish that or not? It doesn't matter how you get back up. What matters is to get back up.
I remember one time I had a client who was depending on me. She didn't know anything about technology, and she was depending on me to get a newsletter out and to build a website and do all kinds of stuff for her. And I was really new. I was new, and I was just learning really myself, and I messed up. I messed up bad. And I sent out a newsletter that shouldn't have gone out. I don't even remember what it was, but she called me and said, she said those words, I was counting on you and you failed me. And oh, the hurt. I could have quit right then and there and said, I'll never do this again. How could I have done that? Why did I hit that button when I wasn't ready? Oh my God, how could I have made that mistake? And I could have gone down. I literally could have gone down. But because I had the support around me that I needed, and because I decided I was going to bounce back and have resilience, I was able to not only overcome that, but also be stronger and double check my work before I hit the button. Never again will I make that mistake. Well, maybe I made it a couple more times, but it was never that devastating, right?
Right. You know, I think that the bumps get smaller. You know, as we keep going, that specific kind of
hurt bad.
Yeah.
She said I was counting on you, and you just I was disappointing her. It hurt so bad. So well, I think that if I didn't have somebody that could bring me back to hello, mistakes happen, you know, apologize, and that's what the humility part. Don't try to pretend it wasn't your fault. Don't try to pretend it didn't happen. Stand up, take accountability for yourself, and tell the person or people that you made a mistake and that you're very sorry. How can I make it up to you? And just make sure you don't make that mistake again.
Well, and do your best to not make it again. You know, sometimes I will tell you, I've done a faux pas a couple of times. I've had to learn the same lesson once or twice, maybe 3 times before I get the whole kit and caboodle of that. But you know what? Marion's absolutely right. We're still the person that we're accountable and become accountable to other people, right? We have to be decisive. That was our goal. I screwed up. Give me a freaking minute. I apologize. I'm human, you know, whatever. But the reality is that, you know, you do your best to apologize and get back on the road. Some people won't accept it. Some people get hurt. Some people say, never mind, you've hurt my feelings. Some people say, no, you know, you can't do it because you let me down that first time. It doesn't matter.
She did fire me. She did. And I totally accepted that.
Yeah.
And I did what I needed to do, but she couldn't trust me after that. And I totally get that. But I'm telling you, I'm a better person because of it, because she held me to the fire and said, you screwed up.
That's right.
But the humility, I think, is really, really important. I know that especially when you're starting out to be an entrepreneur, that it would be hard to be making mistakes and admitting it because you want people to think you're the best at what you do. It doesn't work. Okay.
It doesn't work. It's not going to work. We all have our journey. That's like somebody, who was it that said, Melinda, you just make it look so easy. I always tell people, they're like, oh my God, they're an overnight success. I say, yeah, it only took them 20 years. And they look at me. I said, I want you to understand, it's always a journey. There's no instant gratification in entrepreneur. I have yet to find one that has been last night and today. Of course, now I will admit that if you look at Google, you look at Facebook, everybody says, look at how fast it went. Yes, but you know what? They did all the process before we saw them, right? They did all the technical, they did all of the electronics, all the systems, they did all the kinks in the armor before we saw the armor, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But please don't ever think that they just woke up one day and said, today I'm going to build this, right? It's not going to. Can you believe I forgot to turn off my freaking phone? Sorry about that, folks. But the whole thing
sounded like Star Trek.
But I have some interesting music on my phone. Anyway, so the thing is that we're the ones who set the goal, just like we're the ones who set the bar, right? We're the ones who set our accountability. We're the ones who look for someone to hold us to the fire, right? We're the ones who decide to get back up and become resilient. Yeah, they don't like me. And that's one of the things, and everybody can tell you that. When I start, I'm sure you've heard it through me. I'm like Tina Turner. I don't do anything nice and easy. So I'm not everybody's coach. But here's the thing. Not everybody is my client, right? I used to have a client, and I got to tell the story. I will not tell who the client was. That when I would ask her a real tough question about her business, she would start crying in our calls and hang up. She'd take a few minutes, then she'd call me back and she goes, that question was just too hard. I wasn't ready for it.
I'm sorry.
When you're starting something like that, you're like, I've like told her one time,
I not watching the show.
Oh no, I don't think that they would, but the whole thing is with me is that I was like, I can't answer these questions for you. It's your business, right? This is where she had to hold herself accountable. Give me what it was. We finally worked through some of the really tough difficulty questions, and she became a great client, and she went off and she created something fabulous, and I'm very proud of her. And I think that she's done a tremendous job. But to begin with, I was like, holy cow, I can't answer the questions for you. It's your business, right? What are your goals? Where are you wanting to drive this car, right? Where is your destination, your determination, your decisiveness? This is where I'm going, right? So be aware of the fact that it's okay to tell them, I'm sorry, I don't think we're good together, right? I don't think that we're the ones, it's okay to tell them that. Because
I remember the first time I fired a client and the first time I decided I cannot work with you. I was scared to death to let them go for fear that, first of all, oh my God, look at all that money that's going to go out the door if I fire them. But the stress level that they put me under and the things that they were asking me to do were just didn't feel good. And once I made that decision to let them go, my life got much easier. It was much, much easier for me. And then the first time that I decided you're not the right client for me, I was thinking about that yesterday. Imagine what this person thought. We went through negotiations for 6 weeks. 6 weeks we went back and forth. And finally I said, that's enough. Yeah. You're just not the right type of client that I need. And I'm not the right person that you need to hire. So I let her go. And she never told me how she felt about that. But I know I felt really good. Like I just,
Mary, you're absolutely right. I had, I remember the first client. Well, actually, I've had a couple, but one of the clients that I had, and this has happened within the last year or so. So it was recent for me, right? Because I usually, maintain. But recently, within the last year or so, decided I was going to work for somebody. I didn't like the idea that of what they were asking. So we talked about it. We negotiated. Okay, great. So I really thought, okay, but then something came up, and it was my mistake. It really was my mistake. And the next thing I know, I didn't realize it that I had not entered that PayPal connection with any of my connections. And they had used my PayPal link. And then there's like, okay, you have all this money. And I'm like, no, I don't. You know, right? So what happened was that before we knew it, we were into a really hot and heavy conversation because it was my mistake of one, giving them my information, but two, which was more so important, was the fact that I was not keeping aware of my own um, information that I had given out to them, that they were utilizing it and I hadn't realized it. Okay. So instead of keeping a better eye on that account or whatever, when they started accusing, right, and it was more of the force of the conversation that I was stealing from them or that I was taking from, I was so embarrassed. I was so insulted. I wrote to them and I said, let me look into this. I don't know. Now I'm at a point where I don't know. When I discovered it was my bad, I said, I'll be sending you over that as quick as it clears. I'll be giving it to you. Right. But the implication and all the harsh words and aggravations that had been used to begin with had given me such an insult that I immediately said, I quit immediately. Effective right now. I will give you all of this information, all this, money or whatever that had been transpired. I gave it to them immediately. The money wasn't the issue. For me, it was the way they managed the situation and the implication that I was purposefully, doing something wrong to keep a part of their business. So when I felt that, I immediately quit. But you know what? I realized that when I did, and after all the matter was cleared up, like you said, my first thought was, oh my God, that's good money coming in. But you know what, Marion? You're absolutely right. I was so relieved. I found myself back to peaceful. I found myself, okay, now I can keep going again. I gave
There
more
you go.
attention to my other clients. I got back on this, resiliency. I got back on the road again, started going, and I felt so much better that I never looked back. I never, I never hesitated in was that the right move or not. So we have to be decisive in our plans. We have to have confidence. Let's talk about confidence for just a second. We've already talked about the decisiveness of it. We've already talked about the fact that we have to be accountable. We've already talked about the fact that we are resilient, right? We have to have resiliency. We have to bounce. But you know what? Confidence, wow, that could really knock us off of our feet, couldn't it, Marion? Just boom.
It could. It could. And this topic, we're going to be covering the whole month of August, and we've got lots more to talk about. I hope that you'll come back again next week. We're here every Tuesday at 9 o'clock Central Time. I want you to be able to share it. We're on YouTube Live. We're on Facebook Live. And I'm really confident that we can help. If you have a question, just feel free to put it in the comments below, and Melinda will get to it right away. She's really good about that. She wants to help. So thank you for joining. We'll see you again next week.
Our time went so fast. I'm at www.livingthedream.com, livingthedreambusiness.com. Come find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. Thanks for being here. You guys take care.
Bye for now.